There's something powerful about the journey of leadership, the daily steps, the long-term vision, and everything we learn along the way. Welcome to Leadership Labs, where we explore these journeys with the incredible leaders of Aurora Public Schools. And each episode, we hear from those who are helping guide our district toward Destination APS, sharing their stories, their challenges, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Today, as we continue Season 4, Breaking Away, I'm joined by Yvette Moye. Some people say triple C. Some people say C cubed. Some people say C to the third power. Some say CCC. And some people say climate and culture coordinator.
Yeah.
What do you identify as?
C3, yes.
C3, okay.
All of those apply though.
Yvette is a C3 at East Middle School, and she's in her second year in this role, but has 17 years in education, 15 years right here in APS.
Yeah.
And Yvette describes her leadership as servant, relational, and courageous. And her philosophy is rooted in a powerful belief that before we can expect growth, we must tend the soil.
Yes.
So let's explore her journey and what it means to cultivate belonging for students, families, and staff. Yvette, welcome to Leadership Labs.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Tell us just a little bit about who you are and what your role as C3 entails.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm at East Middle School. This is my second year as the climate and culture coordinator there at East. And it is about fostering belonging for staff and students, ensuring that every single person that walks through those doors feel welcomed, feel heard, and celebrated. Yeah.
You've described your current focus as building a safe, consistent, and inclusive school culture where every staff member and student feels connected, supported, and has a sense of belonging. What does that look like day to day in your role as a C3?
Yeah, I would say boots on the ground. It's being out there in those hallway streets, as I like to say.
These hallway streets, I
being
like
out in the
that.
hallway streets and, talking to students, talking to staff, making
Yeah.
sure that everybody feels seen and heard. I mentioned the soil. I look at every student as a seed and wanted to make sure that the soil is ripe for growth. And so in doing so, I have to be out there watering the seed, tending to the seed. If I see weeds coming up, I need to be out there pulling weeds out of
That's
those
right.
spaces.
Let's
So that
go.
looks like maybe some behavioral infractions or just students that just need that extra support and just being there for them.
I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that. I love these hallway streets.
Yeah, hallway streets, that's what I call them.
Well, tell us a little bit about what inspired you to pursue a career in education.
Great question. So it started out with me being on the not parent teacher conferences on
PTA.
PTA. Thank you. It started out with me being on PTA at Side Creek Elementary. My kids were there.
Wow.
Yep, long time ago, it seems like. And so I was volunteering, and I always wanted to be in education, but my husband and I decided, it was the best for me to be at home until the kids got older. And so that was totally fine. I love that, wouldn't regret it for anything. But then I just started volunteering at the school. And the principal at the time was like, "You're in this building more than some of the teachers are. You should just start working here." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "My kids are at home, so I can work while they're here, and then we just go home together." And so I started out as a para. Yeah, helping kiddos read and Side Creek Elementary. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what was it like for you when sort of that turning point from being a parent at the school to now being a para at the school?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I just felt more engaged. I felt like my work could be more relevant in the classroom, whereas before I was just kind of helping out as a community member, but now I was actually in the classroom, and so I felt like it was more purposeful, I guess. Yeah.
You got into these hallway streets as an educator, right?
I did.
It makes a little bit of a difference when
Yeah.
you're living the day to day.
Yeah, it does. It's a big difference. And I think you're able to see kind of like behind the curtain.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean?
exactly.
As a parent, you're volunteering. But now I'm in the building, I'm in the classroom every day. And so I'm able to see behind the curtain and see what some of those specific needs are for kids and staff, actually. Yeah.
I love that. And I have to ask you, I would love to hear about some of the people along your journey who have watered your garden.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. I think that's really important to mention and to recognize some of the people early on. Craig Lau was very
Hey.
instrumental. He was the person that hired me in APS.
Wow.
Yeah, long time ago. Craig hired me. I was subbing. I came in as a substitute at that time at BPE, the exploratory building before we had Vista Peak Preparatory. And I came in as a sub, and Craig was like, "Oh, we love you and think you're great, and you should be on our team." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, great." And so Craig, Garrett Rosa, it's been instrumental. Ahmed, just some really great people. Tanyetta, Jackie. There's just been some really
Yeah.
great people that have sown into my garden, and I think it's really important to recognize those folks
Absolutely.
that have helped tend your garden, even maybe in times and opportunity that you didn't necessarily see the value necessarily or see the potential. Someone else came along and saw, oh, this has potential and it can grow and flourish. And I think the way I see that is the way we need to look at our kiddos in the building. They may not see their worth or their value necessarily right off the bat, but it's our job and our responsibility to help tend to that garden and make sure that they see the importance that they bring to the table.
Yeah, I appreciate you elevating those names. One of the things that I think we've learned over the course of the previous few seasons is that there's usually, not always, but there's usually, a strong mentor, or group of mentors, or somebody who, has seen something in us
Yeah.
before we see it in ourselves, or push us to, hey, you ought to apply for this,
Yeah,
or you ought to
absolutely.
try for this, or when things don't go as planned or as we've hoped for, that they're there too to help catch us and help lift us
Yeah.
and dust us off.
Pull
And
up those weeds.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
gardening, as you can see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you talked about this being your second year as a CCC, which for folks in APS, especially in the elementary, middle schools, and the P8s, are familiar with the role, but it's actually a new role to our system just in the last 2 years. So you're an inaugural or founding mother of the
Okay.
CCC crew. For folks who are unfamiliar, tell us a little bit about, what the role entails, but also what drew you to apply
Yeah,
for the role.
that's good. So honestly, I was kind of already doing the role at Vista Peak. Jason Macklin at the time was the principal, and he was like, "We should create a role that you're working over climate and culture." Like I was over the deans at the time
Yeah.
at Vista Peak, and he was like, "Let's just add a few elements to that." And so it was already kind of like a role that was already created, kind of at Vista Peak. It just didn't have that title. And so I'm a very relational person. And so I really do enjoy building relationships with people and helping people feel like they belong because they do and that they have a voice. And so I was doing it at Vista Peak before it had a title. And then the role actually came. And I was like, oh my God, that's literally what I'm doing at Vista Peak. And I just thought it would be important for me to diversify my leadership. I had been at Vista Peak since the day it opened.
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe I should try another school. And so that role came up at East. And so I applied and I thought it was fitting for me because, like I said, I'm relational. I believe in building strong systems. I enjoy looking for gaps
Yeah.
and being able to fill in that gap. And so to me, that's kind of what the C3 role is. It's building systems around people to ensure they feel like they belong.
Amazing. You shared with me that one of your proudest recent wins
Yeah.
is the sixth grade first day experience, which for APS just happened last week. We're on our
Absolutely.
fourth day of school now. Yeah. Can you just tell us a little bit about that? What went into it? And yeah, how did it
It
go?
was so exciting. So we kind of had like a little mini assembly for the sixth graders that came at East Middle School. The way we do things, the way we show up every day is a CARES acronym. So it's cooperation, acceptance, respect, eagerness to learn, and safety. And so we had like a mini assembly around those, the importance of being a CARES member and what that looked like. I enjoyed, and then we had a rotation of students being able to visit like classroom tours and then visiting the school store, getting their IDs, visiting with their teachers. And so I just really enjoyed sixth graders having a day, or freshmen when I was at Vista, having
Yeah.
a day to themselves where they're able to get acclimated and meet their teachers and build relationships before the other kids get there. So it's very powerful to see them coming in with all their big backpacks and,
Yeah.
tissues and things like that. But to learn the school and learn what it means to be an East Eagle, that was really important to me. And so I enjoyed it immensely.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And, especially for comprehensive middle schools and high schools,
Yes.
that transition from fifth to sixth or eighth to ninth is
The
huge,
data shows, right?
right? Yeah, yeah. And for our students who are coming to a large traditional comprehensive high
Mhm.
or middle school, they're usually coming from a very small, elementary school.
Elementary,
And so
yeah.
East is a big place.
Yeah, East is a big place for a
So
little sixth grade
that's
walking
right.
in those
That's right.
doors,
Yeah.
And so it was very enjoyable to see them come in and get acclimated.
Good. And that's yeah, I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to all of our new sixth graders
Yeah,
out there.
they're doing great so far, and I'm sure they'll continue.
That's right. Can you tell us how you see the work of the C3 connected to our district goals?
Yeah. I think the work of being a C3 connected to the district goals, specifically around our MLLs,
Mhm.
is really, really, really important.
Yeah.
At East, we're like 76%
Yeah.
MLLs. And so oftentimes, as we know, students can come in and they feel disconnected.
Right.
And it's very hard for them to acclimate. Sometimes it's very challenging, and not just for them, but for their parents as well to come into the space. And so I think it's really important that we're spending that additional time with those students, putting those supports in place for those
Yes.
students, ensuring that they feel that level of support. And what does that look like in the classroom? How does that play out in the classroom?
Yeah.
How does that play out in the hallways? How does that play out in the cafeteria? To ensuring that these students feel seen, heard, and respected, and that they're able to understand and acclimate to the culture.
Yeah. You talked a little bit about this already, but I'm going to bring us back to a more direct question around this. But you said always check the soil before questioning why people are not growing, that
Yeah.
leaders must examine whether they've created the conditions for people to feel safe, supported, challenged, and valued.
Yeah, and sorry.
No, you go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
I'll stick with that as it relates to the MLLs, right? In our 90-day
Yes.
plan, right? Is if we don't have the right soil for those kids to come into the building, they can't grow.
Yeah.
And often we look at the data and we look at it just as a number, but there's bodies behind those numbers.
That's right.
Those are human beings,
That's
right?
right.
And so we have to make sure that we have the systems and the supports in place in the classroom and outside of the classroom to help cultivate that soil to ensure that those students can grow.
Yes.
We don't want to see them repeatedly in the same space, right? And so I love Laura, who comes to our building often to support with our MLLs, but she is very instrumental in helping us ensure that our soil is ripe for that growth.
That's amazing. You also said your why is being purposeful on purpose.
Yeah.
And that you must tend your garden if you want to see and partake of the fruit. How do you tend your own garden as a leader?
That's a great question. Thank you. I think self-reflection, number one. I think reflecting on what I'm doing. Number two is being open to feedback.
Yes.
Right. And in the moment, like if I am speaking with someone or encouraging someone or even redirecting someone, I need to be able to hear feedback from them and then reflect on that. And that helps me continue to grow, because you should never get to a place where you feel like you've arrived and
That's
you got
right.
it all together, because we're all continually growing in this garden. And so I think self-reflection and then being able to receive feedback.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to aspiring school leaders in general, or specifically about being a servant leader?
Yeah, I would say it's more about sacrifice and servanthood than it is about spotlight. Sometimes, we think the leadership role is all about the spotlight and being seen and everybody, you know what I mean? But it's about being boots on the ground.
Yeah.
It's about sacrificing and serving others in hopes to see them grow and flourish. And I enjoy being able to plant something and seeing the growth. I enjoy that. That's why I'm in education, because I get to see that with students.
Yeah.
Plant that seed, water it, tend to the soil. You see that child or that student grow and flourish, walking across that stage, 12th grade year, going into college. I mean, what more? What more could you ask for
That's
than to
great.
see that? That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Yeah, and APS is doing a great job with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our listeners, I think, are going to be really wondering
Okay.
about your like actual garden in your house.
Yeah.
Is
Great.
it is there a plant
Yeah.
or flower that you're most proud of?
My tomato plants, love them so much. I love tomatoes in general,
Yeah.
but they're so easy to grow if you tend to them. I also have a large herb garden.
Okay.
And so it's also understanding what herbs to plant in the same soil because some of them don't play well together.
Yeah.
And so you have to understand that. And I carry that also into leadership, knowing how to place people in positions
Yes.
and how to put students together so
Right.
that they can grow.
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing. Okay, we're gonna do a quick turn here for the leadership playlist. So I've learned
Okay.
that you're a sneakerhead,
Yes, I am.
a foodie,
Yes, I am.
and a reader.
Yes.
So I'd love to know what's one restaurant here in Colorado that you recommend, and what should we eat from there?
Ooh, tough one. Okay.
What's made it on your reading list lately?
Okay.
What's your favorite pair of shoes?
Okay, I'm gonna start with the shoes first. I have two sons. They're big sneakerheads. They always buy me shoes. And can I just say really quickly is that when I started at Vista Peak, I wanted to find out a way to start conversations with students. And so my sons was like, Mom, do tennis shoes. Everybody loves tennis shoes. And so that's how I became a sneakerhead. My favorite is going to be the Black Velvet Jordan 23.
Hey,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Black Velvet. That's going to be my favorite. My book right now is The Art of Framing,
Okay.
learning how to have hard conversations with people on a regular basis. A quick 5-minute conversation can move mountains. And then a place to go to eat. Oh my God, Michelin star. I would say Alma Fonda is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good one, Alma Fonda. And then Alentino and Cherry Creek. If you go to Alentino and Cherry Creek, you have to get the avocado. I get a mocktail, but get whatever you want. The avocado mocktail or the avocado drink, amazing. And then the beef tip tacos.
Ooh, okay. I love that
Very
recommendation.
good. Yeah.
I'll have to try the
Yeah.
mocktail.
Yeah. Try it out. It's really good avocado. If you like avocado, you would love it. It's
I
really good.
I love avocado and I don't drink alcohol.
So, hey, we should go sometime. It's great.
Okay. All right. We could keep our
Yes,
conversation going.
yes, absolutely.
As we approach the finish line of our conversation,
Yes.
what does Destination APS mean to you and to the East Middle School community?
Yeah. What Destination APS means to me is, as I said before, is being purposeful about my purpose and my why. And my why is to ensure that every student, every day, understands that they can.
Yes.
Okay, regardless of what it is, that they can. And then what does it mean to East Middle School? I think we've done a lot of hard work in the last year at East. We've moved some pretty big rocks, literally, if you will. And so I think Destination APS is just making sure that those students, 6th through 8th grade, are ready to transition into 9th through 12th
Okay.
grade. That we are tending that soil. We're making sure they have what they need so that they can grow.
All right. My last question
Yes.
to you. Season 4 is called Breaking Away, and I lean into
Okay.
the marathon
Okay.
analogy a little bit. And so as you think about, acceleration toward our
Mhm.
goals, as you think about the superintendent's message recently
Mhm.
about the inflection point
Mhm.
that we're at, how are you breaking away toward your goals at East Middle School this year?
Great question. How am I breaking away to my goals? I would say intentionality, being intentional. First of all, identifying what those goals are, being intentional about completing those goals. But I would add to that is having accountability partner to make sure that you've identified those goals and someone that can help you hold you accountable to accomplishing those goals along the way is what I would say.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can I ask, is your accountability partner in building or outside of building?
Outside of building. If
Yeah.
you know Yolanda Greer.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Yolanda Greer.
Yes.
Shout out to Yolanda
Yeah,
Greer.
she's amazing. Yes, love her.
Same.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's same thing we talked about a little bit earlier, where an accountability partner can, help you to see things that you're not seeing. And,
Absolutely.
if you fall down, help to
Yeah.
lift you up, to
Absolutely.
push you further,
Yeah.
to help you
Mhm.
see different perspectives. And
Yeah.
so
And she's
super
amazing at
critical.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's amazing
She
in so
is.
many things. Yes. Love you, Yolanda.
Yes.
She listens from time to time. I'm
Okay,
sure she'll
cool.
listen to this one
Yeah.
because she's going to see you. Well, Yvette, I thank you for sharing your journey with us today. Your philosophy of tending the soil really resonated for me and hopefully for our listeners, creating those conditions where people can take root, develop, flourish, be separated if needed,
Yeah.
is a reminder that breaking away toward our goals isn't just about strategy and systems, but it's about people. It's about
Absolutely.
belonging. It's about showing up with care, consistency, and courage every single day.
Every day for every student.
Yeah, so I thank you for taking some time to let us learn a little bit about your journey here in APS. And to our listeners, invite you to join us next time as we continue exploring the paths of those who are helping guide us toward Destination APS. Until then, keep running your race with purpose. Thank you.